Picture this. You're deep in the Alaskan backcountry. I'm talking about the kind of place where the map just turns white and those ridge lines seem to roll on forever. The silence out here, it's heavy. You can feel it sitting right on your chest. But here's the reality check. You aren't alone. And you definitely aren't at the top of the food chain. Somewhere in that endless sea of green, there's a 1,000-pound brown bear that can cover 50 yards in the time it takes you to blink. If that moment comes, the rifle slung over your shoulder stops being a tool for filling a tag. It becomes your life insurance policy. The men and women who guide up here, they don't care about the marketing hype. They don't care what cartridge is winning precision matches down in the lower 48. They care about one thing: results. They trust the rounds that have stopped charges, fed families, and built legends across the north for decades. Because when your hands are shaking and your bolt is caked in wet snow, you don't get a do-over. So what actually works? Is it raw horsepower? Is it surgical accuracy? Or is it something else entirely? Today, we're cutting through the noise. We are breaking down the 5 rifle calibers that Alaskans have bet their lives on and won. Let's kick this off with a round that might surprise a few of the magnitude junkies out there. We're starting with the baseline, the heart of American hunting, the 3006 Springfield. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. The 06 for brown bear? Isn't that a little light? Here's the truth. Alaska's history wasn't written exclusively by massive cannons. It was written by this cartridge. If the 338 is the muscle, the 3006 is the heart. It's been quietly filling freezers and saving hunts from the Kenai Peninsula to the Brooks Range for over a century. Why? Shootability. Sure, it doesn't have the raw, brute force stopping power of the big Magnums, but that is exactly its advantage. It doesn't beat you up. When your adrenaline is dumping and your heart is hammering against your ribs, accuracy beats raw power every single time. A well-placed 3006 round is infinitely better than a flinch-induced miss with a 458. Versatility is the name of the game here. You can load a 150-grain bullet for caribou, or step up to a heavy 220-grain slug, that's the secret sauce, and suddenly you're punching in the same weight class as the Magnums. You can take moose, elk, or bear cleanly if you do your part. And there's a practical side we often forget: logistics. You can walk into the tiniest general store in a village along the Yukon River, and I guarantee you, right next to the fishing line and the duct tape, there's a box of 3006 on the shelf. That kind of peace of mind? You can't put a price tag on it.
All right, let's step it up a notch. If you want to know what the undisputed King of the North looks like, look no further than the 338 Winchester Magnum. Go to Kodiak Island. Go to the Brooks Range. Ask any seasoned guide what one cartridge they would trust for absolutely anything Alaska throws at them. This is the answer you're going to get 9 times out of 10. It is the definition of a do-it-all rifle. The genius of the 338 is in the bullet selection. You've got factory loads pushing fast 185-grain bullets for sheep, all the way up to 300-grain sledgehammers. Most guys settle in that 225 to 250-grain sweet spot. That load carries enough energy to drop a bull moose in his tracks across a valley, but it has the authority to end a fight up close with a coastal brownie. Now, let's be real about the recoil. It's a Magnum. It's going to let you know when the trigger breaks. It's got a sharp bark. But, and this is key, it's not in that punishing, detach your retina class of the big African rounds. It's manageable. You can actually train with this without developing a flinch. Winchester knew exactly what they had back in the day. When they first chambered their Model 70 in this round, they didn't get cute with the name. They called it the Alaskan. That rifle and this cartridge grew up together. It's not just a tool.
It's a standard. Now, let's jump to the modern era of ballistics. Let's talk about the specialist of the open country, the 300 Winchester Magnum. Not all of Alaska is thick brush. A lot of it is wide-open tundra, frozen valleys, and wind that never seems to stop blowing. If you're hunting sheep or caribou, the shot might not be at 50 yards, it might be at 400. When you need reach, precision, and authority, the 300 Winchester Magnum is the answer. This thing is a laser beam. It shoots flat, it stays fast, and it hits hard. With modern bullets, especially those high ballistic coefficient loads, it retains energy way out there where lesser calibers start falling out of the sky. But here's why it makes this list. It bridges the gap. It's a precision tool that still packs enough heavy muscle to handle a grizzly if you stumble onto one while glassing for sheep. You aren't undergunned. Is there a downside? Sure, it can be hard on barrels if you shoot it hot, and at close range it can make a mess of meat on smaller game because it's moving so fast. But for the hunter who wants one rifle to handle the lower 48 elk season and an Alaskan dream hunt, this is probably the smartest pick on the board. Okay, time to shift gears. Drastically. Sometimes Alaska isn't about a clean, computed shot across a glacier. Sometimes it's about a chaotic encounter that happens in a phone booth. You turn around, and the only thing between you and a very bad day is a lever-action rifle. Enter the 4570 Government. This cartridge was born in the 1870s, literally before the telephone was invented. And yet, here we are in the 21st century, and it is still a top-tier defensive round. Why? Because physics doesn't expire. We aren't talking about the cowboy loads your great-grandpa used. Modern plus P ammunition has turned this old warhorse into an absolute monster. We're talking 325, 405, even 500-grain hard-cast bullets. This is not a long-range cartridge. It's got the trajectory of a rainbow. If you're shooting past 150 yards, you're guessing. But inside 50 yards? In the thick alderbrush where visibility is measured in feet, that is where the 4570 shines. When a bear charges in that terrain, you don't have time for rangefinders. You don't have time to dial turrets or find the animal in a 12-power scope. You need a rifle that comes up fast, points naturally, and hits like a freight train. At close range, that massive 45 caliber slug doesn't just poke a hole, it smashes through bone and shuts the nervous system down. It's raw trauma. And when you're walking the salmon streams, that's exactly what you want. Finally, we arrive at the graduate level. The cartridge all others are measured against. The 375 Holland & Holland Magnum. Some rounds get their reputation from YouTube videos or marketing campaigns. This one earned it the hard way. We are talking about over 100 years of stopping charges on 2 continents. Born in London, perfected in Africa, and adopted by Alaska, this is the global benchmark for dangerous game, period. This is not a deer round. This is a tool designed for animals that can fight back. The standard load here is a 300-grain bullet. When that hits, it doesn't just break bone, it plows through it. It provides deep, straight-line penetration that smaller calibers just can't match. But here is the secret that people miss about the 375. It's surprisingly flexible. A lot of guys think it's just a short-range hammer, but it shoots much flatter than you'd expect. In the hands of a rifleman who knows his dope, this is a legitimate 300-yard cartridge. It can handle the sudden charge in the brush and the moose standing broadside across the river. Yes, the ammo is expensive. Yes, the rifles are heavy. But if you are looking for the ultimate one-gun solution for the most dangerous game on Earth, the 375 H&H hasn't given us a single reason to doubt it in a century. It is the king for a reason. So, there you have it. The baseline, the standard, the specialist, the defender, and the legend. These 5 calibers have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they have what it takes to perform in the last frontier. They aren't just hypotheticals, they are the tools that bring hunters home safe. But hey, I know how passionate this community is. I know there's a guy out there screaming at his screen right now because I didn't include the 338 Lapua or the 458 Win Mag. So let's hear it. What's in your safe? If you were booking a ticket to Anchorage tomorrow, which rifle are you grabbing? Drop a comment down below. I read through them, and I want to know what your go-to bear stopper is. If you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one, and stay safe out there. Shoot straight, folks.